May 2004. I was visiting my brother and he said, I bet you can't eat 30 of these lip-smacking donuts in 39 minutes. I was not to be outdone. I finished each one of those in 38 minutes. 38 minutes, 30 donuts. That's a record for the sweet shop that I went into. At that day onwards, I became the man who could eat any sweet in record time. Even I became so famous that in a buffet, I would walk over to the section that had the desserts first, eat those desserts, walk my way around the table, and then go for all the green, nutritious stuff on that table. See, the logic was simple. If the world came to an end, or if a catastrophe struck the world, I don't want to be caught short. I want to eat the good stuff first. 2010, I got married. My father-in-law told me, we know your affliction for sweets. We made sure that we had 18 different kinds of sweet for your pleasure. In India, there is a dowry system. I didn't need a dowry. I needed those sweets. 2013, when my son was born and we were out in the hospital getting our son out, the nurse looked at me and said what can only be music to any husband's or new father's ears. Sir, looking at you, I'm so amazed. You're among the only husbands who has put on sympathetic weight along with your wife. Today is so hard to tell who's pregnant. Boy, I was so happy. I was the only husband of the 16 deliveries that happened in Western Hospital that day that the nurse gave a compliment to. I was so happy that I even called up my mom and I gave her the good news to say, hey mom, you'll be happy to hear we had a baby boy. And guess what? Of all the husbands and all the new dads in the hospital, the nurses told me because of the weight that I put on, who was pregnant, they didn't know. Congratulations, son. Remember one thing. You are a father now. Do you not remember how your grandma died? She had her toes cut off because of diabetes. She had ants in her fingers when she died. Is that the legacy you want to leave your son? A sugar junkie who had his toes cut? All the happiness that was in my life came crashing in those 2 minutes I spoke with my mom. That night and for a couple of nights after that, I had no peaceful sleep. For 10 years, I had become a sugar junkie. The garland that I wore in my neck for being the hero who could eat any sweet now became my noose. You had heard of golden handcuffs? Well, my garland was my noose. 7 days after my son was born, I decided to do something about it. That day morning, I woke up to my son when he was sleeping in his crib. I lifted him up, looked at his big brown eyes, and promised myself and to my son, this day, October 19th, 2013, I promise you, I will overcome. You will not remember me by my limitation, but by my strength. And out I walked to the office with a new resolution, with a new zeal. Because I'm happy, yeah. Because I'm happy. You see, in the office, the first thing to do is to have coffee. So I went up to the nearest coffee shop and picked up my coffee and I was singing along. Because I'm happy. Because coffee without sugar sucks. I didn't know that. What I realized is this. If I had to give up sugar, I have to give up coffee. The one sin I committed coming to the US. I was not doing too much. 3 coffees a day, almost equal to 2 cigarettes a day. Not much, just a little. But it was like a buy one, get one offer. Leave sugar, be caffeine free. Who would have not liked that? Have you faced or known anybody who's trying to give up cigarettes? Do you know how hard it is to give up cigarettes? How hard it is to take away that nicotine from your body? For those 8 days, I felt the same thing. I began getting those headaches that pounded my head. I had no release. I don't know what to do. I want to drink that coffee. But the legacy in my mind stopped me from doing that. I talked to my friends what to do. I talked to my family what to do. And I talked to the one person whom I thought could help me. God, I know it's very late in India, and I know I'm praying to you in English. Please help me. Give me the power to overcome. And as I rose, God spoke to me. Turn your fear into your inspiration. Turn my fear into inspiration? I mean, I know it's late in the night, but God must be drunk at this time. How can I turn my fear into my inspiration? I thought long and hard about this. What do I fear the most? The fact that my son is going to know me as a junkie? The fact that my toes... Then it struck me. What scared me the most was the picture I had in my mind of my grandma with her toes cut. That day, I went to the internet, took a picture of a lady who had her fingers cut off, and that picture was on my mobile phone, was on my laptop, was on my wallet, was on my desk, was every single place I was, to remind me that that is what I have to overcome. That day onwards started the long journey of me giving up sugar for 1 whole year. We leave so many boats astray on the river, but do these boats reach the other side? Will I be able to go and meet the other side? I had my own doubts. And I talked to my friends. Talking to friends is like having a lot of crabs in the drum. Have you seen a lot of crabs in an open drum? When the crabs try to get out of the drum, you know what the other crabs do? Try to pull the crab down. Those were my friends. Each time I told them, you know what you're trying to do? You're trying to overcome an addiction. 10-year-old addiction. You're not going to succeed. You're going to fail. Who do you think you are? Why are you flying so high? Why don't you come back and stay in the battle with us? Each time somebody pulled me down, I only thought of my son. And I'm happy to tell you that for every birthday I missed, for every party I missed, for my son's first birthday, for my marriage anniversary, for my birthday, for my wife's birthday, for 366 days of the year and night, with all the temptations, July 2015, exactly 422 days after me leaving sugar, when I took my first bite of Hershey's chocolate in the Hershey's factory, I knew I had arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the legacy you want to leave behind? What do you want to be known as? The limitation or something that you overcame? When you decide you want to move ahead, you will have crabs pulling you down. But know this, and know this for sure. You are not your limitation, you are your strength. If a sugar junkie like me for 10 years can give up my addiction, you can too. Madam Toastmaster.